So yeah, what you're about to listen to is the beginning of the actual first meeting that I had where I actually put everything on the table, and I had a coworker present with me because at this point I felt like I was being lighted and played with, but they was fucking with my mind so much that I was actually believing the shit that they were saying to me. And it wasn't until I brought my coworker with me, and when he sat in that meeting with us for over an hour, almost an hour and a half, when he walked out the room, he was like, yo, they're fucking with you and they're gaslighting you. And no, you're not crazy. And I'm not even gonna front. When I listen to these, when I have to go through and edit it, it's like reliving this shit all over again. And at that point, I can't even lie. I was fucking down bad. And I was going through a lot of emotional trauma and stress. I still hadn't processed the loss of my wife, my kid's mother. And then at work every day, it was this bullshit while for whatever reason, it seemed like I was catching the flack of other motherfuckers not doing their job. Like I was just the one to fuck with. But yeah, because of that, I'm realizing that it's still, every time I got to do this shit, I feel away. So from here on out, I'm not going to do too much commentary. I'm just going to let these clips play and speak for themselves. And it is what it is.
So we got to talk today. We got to talk today about the latenesses in June and July. So obviously you need to ask if you want a delegate. And I'm just going to give you a brief thing what's going on. So you were on a final written warning, okay, for lateness, which happened last year in July. It was written July 15th. So the latenesses that you have now were within that year. So we wanted to have this conversation with you earlier, but we were in touch with HR and we wanted to know what HR wanted us to do. Basically they said, well, it's within the year, you can move towards termination, you can move towards going back to a final written warning because it's been almost a year or whatever. So we all talked about it. And you know, we decided to go backwards and just go to a final, not a final written warning, a written warning. And so that's what we want to talk to you about. So, do you want a delegate? Do you want to talk now? Do you want to think about it? Come back tomorrow, whatever.
I could just use L. Because all I need is just someone to witness.
Yeah.
That's all I need. Because, you know, I know everything anyway. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fine.
You want to do it now?
Whenever you're ready.
Let me just see if James is available.
All right. So I'm going to go work until you guys are ready. That's
yeah, cool. Just let Elle know.
All right.
Thanks. Come on.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Thank you.
Alright, now you stand on the side.
All right, so, Marty, you were on a final written warning that was issued on July 15th of 2021 for substandard attendance, which was a combination of lateness and unexcused absences. This year, you had 4 occurrences within a 2-month period. You know, up until June of this year, you were okay, and then starting in June, you had 4 occurrences in 2 months of either late or emergency vacation or unexcused absence. So with that, you know, we wanted to have this conversation with you earlier, but we were waiting to hear back from HR because we reached out to, you know, get their recommendation and to see how we should proceed. So when we talked to HR, they said because you were on a written warning and because these dates were within a year of that written warning, just under it. So your last, the last date here was 7/11 that you were late. He says you can proceed with a termination if you wanted to. He says, but you know, every department has the flexibility of either doing that, or you could, you know, say that, well, he's been in good standing for almost a year, and you can go back to a written warning if you wanted to, and then from there on, if this continues, then you can go to a final written warning and termination. So as a group, we talked about it, and we decided not to go forward with termination. We decided to go with the written warning, and just hoping that, because I know Debbie had spoke to you about it, and just hoping that, you know.
Well, I actually spoke to her because that week,
Yeah.
I literally, every day, there was an issue with the train.
Right.
And I took screenshots from the app because it was either one day someone got hit, one day somebody jumped, the next day there was, actually 2 days it was like light issues, but I literally documented everything, so I had spoken to her. With the unexcused absence,
Yes.
I know that was because of the issue with the time.
I'm not sure what the issue was. It was June 13th.
No, I mean, well, I had used the merch that day, but I know that it was affected because they said I don't have any sick time.
Oh, I see.
But I still haven't heard anything about that either, so I don't know if there's any follow up on that.
In other words, you think you have sick time available?
Well,
Is that what you should have sick time
I should
available.
have, because we did it on our anniversary date, which mine was October. So I got all my sick time in October,
Yeah.
and then January 28th I was gone. So after my surgery, so I didn't come back until June, so I wasn't even here to use it.
Yeah, they our understanding is that if you're out on medical leave, that zeroes out your sick time.
So if it zeroes out, but it's negative 49. That's way bigger than zero. And I don't process it. So there's no way I could have overdrawn it. I wouldn't even have requested.
Mm-hmm.
Negative 49.
Mm-hmm. Which means I'm in the hole, even when I get my new time.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you'd be in the hole when it replenishes.
I still wouldn't get what I'm supposed to get.
I'll be honest with you, the whole ESTA thing is an absolute, you know what?
See, it's not even it's not even
so-
an ESTA though. It's my sick. I have ESTA. I got like 70 some hours, 79 hours ESTA.
No, so you can't have ESTA if you don't have any more sick time, right?
Exactly. So I don't have ESTA and I don't have sick time.
Right, well that's why I'm saying, like, my time is a disaster. And I don't know, you know, and again, that's something that they need to fix on their end, on what's going on, and which is why when ESTA all came about, what they were saying is that you, as a union employee, would be accruing ESTA time from the beginning of the year. So in other words, from the start of the year, if you didn't have any ESTA time left over from the year before, you would have to wait, like,
To the end of the until you use it.
you would have to wait until you accrued 7.5 hours to actually use ESTA.
Mhm.
So if you had something to do in January, like the second week of January, you had to take your kid to the doctor or something like that, you were screwed because you didn't have ESTA because you didn't accrue it.
But this is my
But
question.
so what happened was that Debbie had said, well, what we're going to do is we'll just say that everybody has 56 hours up front, which was a better scenario. Keep track of the ESTA here,
But see,
so we can go back. Yeah, go ahead.
this is my question with that.
Yes.
See, technically, if my time wasn't messed up, that would have fell under my ESTA. And we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But we're having this
The
conversation.
13th? Right. The 13th would have, but then you still had 3 latenesses.
But I could have called in on. I could have called in, but I'll be an hour late, and then called in my ESTA, and then I lost half the shift.
Yeah, he's saying
And
at
there would have
that
been nothing
time.
nobody could say because it would have been under my ESTA. But because someone else messed up my time, now I'm being held accountable for it. No fault of my own. And that's my issues. Even like where I'm at now, that's my issue. With everything going on now, and it's still happening. Just like what happened yesterday. I know y'all weren't here, but what happened yesterday? Once again, someone nowhere to be found, but I'm getting hunted down to do someone else's job. Still happening. And now I'm in here, and I know, I'm not saying it's your guys' fault, but it's just, I don't understand how they know there's an issue with the time. They know it's no fault of my own. Now, I understand I was late, but again, that was even out of my control. That's why now, if you know, I leave 2 hours early now, every day. To make
Yeah,
sure
no,
I'm
you've
on
been
time.
good since.
So I make sure I do what I gotta do.
So apart
So even
from
with that though, if my time was there like it was supposed to be, again, we would have this conversation.
we would still be having the conversation.
But how if I
because
called and use ESTA?
you can't use ESTA for training running late.
But all I can say is I'm coming in half a shift. It's ESTA time. I don't have to tell you anything.
Okay, but
That's the law.
But you told us that you're running late because of the train.
No, I'm telling you that now as we're talking. But if I had my sick time, I could pick up the phone and say, I'm taking half a shift today, ESTA time. I don't have to tell you anything. That's the law. So again, if my time wasn't messed up by someone on this end, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. That's my issue. You're still trying to rationalize it, but there's nothing to rationalize. Mistake was made on who I use in.
Wait, so they fixed it? So they still haven't fixed it. This is why
That's why we're here.
Right. But I think going forward, the problem is because we know why you were late.
No, I
Like
understand
the
that.
argument doesn't.
No, I'm not using
But
it
I
as an
understand.
argument,
I understand
but what I'm saying
I
is in
understand what you're
theory,
saying. I understand what you're
This is
saying.
why it's playing out like this, because I couldn't do that. I had no choice. I had to eat it because I had already been, you ain't got no time.
But I don't even know. But again, like I don't know if you would have had time. I'm not even sure if you would have had time.
My time rolled over in October. I didn't take any sick time before I left.
Right, but I think what James was saying before about the leave.
Yeah.
I think
The
it
leave is-
exhausts.
They
Your
use
sick
your
You're sick.
they use
Mhm.
your sick time,
Which is your ESTA.
after, because that's what happened when I was out. They
No,
use
but
your
still in
sick-
theory. Because let's just say I didn't take the time. You see what I'm saying? This is all, I'm just talking in theory. Fact is a mistake was made, I'm still being held accountable for it.
What mistake are you talking about?
Where's my time?
So what he's saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's negative.
Right, but you had your sick time
Okay.
roll in October, right? And then you had a leave, correct?
So when it got to zero, why did someone continue to process it, James? If I go to the bank and I go to the ATM machine right now and I don't have any money in the bank and I put my ATM card machine in there, I took out $20 and I got 19, it's not going to give me a $20 bill.
Okay.
It's going to tell me insufficient funds.
Okay.
So if I had insufficient time, why did it continue to get processed?
Did you requested the time off through Cigna, correct?
I requested a leave of absence. I didn't request them to overdraw my time. They never did it before. All the other times I've been out. What's different this time?
But did you request it for a certain period of time?
Yeah, 3 months actually.
Okay.
2
And
actually. I'm sorry, 2 months.
did you before you requested a time off? Were you aware of how much sick hours you had in your bank?
Actually,
Did you know
under
if
the
that
impression-
time off would be covered by your sick pay?
Well, why would the time off be covered by sick pay if I was taking disability?
Because
Disability is 60%, whether you have sick time or not. So it doesn't matter if I have sick time. But the fact of the matter is, if somebody else made a mistake, and now you're trying to rationalize it.
Were you paid 60% or
Yeah,
were you
I
paid
was.
full? Okay.
Well, one point I did get sick. I did get a full point at the beginning, but they were taking part of my vacation and part of my sick time. But again, none of that matters. The mistake was made. You're sitting here asking questions, talking around the initial issue. A mistake was made. It was overdrawn because someone made a mistake. It doesn't matter whether I got paid or not.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the reason, because you're every time we're telling you about the lateness here, you're bringing it back to your bank was overdrawn, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's your rationale. So then I'm saying, okay, well, let's just see if what happened makes sense, right? And you're telling me that you put in a certain amount of time off, and that in the beginning you were paid, they were taking a bit of your vacation, a bit of your sick time. So now that makes me think, okay, well, maybe those were your sick hours. And then later on you were paid 60%. So I think that's where things got burned up. I mean that's what you
you're
just
missing my
said.
point. I don't care about the time being burned up. The time is there to be used. Burn it up. I use it. I don't
You
care.
use it, right? So then
How do
because
you burn
you
up what I don't have, James?
okay, but you used it. Whether
I'm
you
not complaining about what I used, James. I'm complaining about what they took that I didn't have, James.
okay, so whether you used it or they took more than what you didn't have, that doesn't change the
It
fact
does
that
change
you were
it.
late.
No, but what it does change is that if they didn't take what I didn't have, maybe I would have had something there to use.
That's what
my
he's
point,
saying.
James.
He's saying on that last written up. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong. He's saying that we wouldn't be here if he had that extra time in his bank. But
I had
because
that
in
time in the
you,
bank, but they overdrew all my sick time.
that's what I'm saying. That's the mistake, right? So he's saying he wouldn't have been here if that happened, because he would have called and said that I'm going to come in a half a day. But it's saying that he didn't have any extra time.
No, I have extra. It's saying I had negative 49 hours. But how can I have negative 49 hours unless someone made a mistake and kept taking something that I ain't got?
Right. So I guess that's where I'm getting confused, right? Like okay, yes, maybe that's a mistake that it says negative 49, right? But if you don't have it, right? If you don't have it, right, to begin with, then you wouldn't have had it on those dates, right? They keep drawing from it on something that you don't have, right? So if you don't have it, then you couldn't have used it for that.
I was late throughout the second week.
Okay.
And I don't know, because you know what? I don't know why it says negative 49.
No, because
I have no idea why it says negative 49.
No, but-
nor do I know.
Because I see what, because you're trying to be technical now. So then what would have to happen is they would have to see how many actual days that I worked and how many sick hours that I had actually earned up to that point there, is what would have happened. So I had already worked a few hours, so even if the first day was covered,
Right.
but all I'm saying is that all of this is still stemming from some mistake that was made at some point, not by me. Like, why do I still have negative 49 hours? How did my hours go negative in the first place?
Right.
That's leaving me with no options, no wiggle room. If I get sick, I can't even get sick anymore. If I get COVID, I have to come in here. I get monkeypox, I'm coming in here. Because I have negative 49 hours.
Well, that's not true, because if you have COVID, it comes out of a different bank, provided you have.
We're talking in theory, James. Come on, man.
It's not. It's policy.
But you know what I'm saying? I just said sick, James.
No. You said if you get
And
COVID,
then I said monkeypox right after that. That's covered under COVID sickness too.
monkeypox is not covered under COVID sickness.
And that's why I'm just, you know what? You're right. COVID's covered. I'm sorry. So if I get bronchitis and I need time off, I don't have any hours because it got overdrawn. That's my point.
Okay. You were aware that your hours were overdrawn before, and even with that knowledge, you arrived late. Okay, this is just about the
I'm
late.
in front of the train. Do you hear what you're saying right now?
Yes. Hamadi, do you understand that we had this conversation? It was actually moving toward termination,
That's fine.
and we talked as